Check one.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good evening. Welcome to our regular meeting ceremony for Palm Springs Unified School District. Today is November 12th, 2024. I would like to call to order our meeting with roll call, please.
Board Member Irvin.
Here.
Board Member Girardi. Here. Board Member Espericueta.
Here.
Board Clerk Cornett.
Here.
Board President Jarrell.
Here.
And today we have Student Board Member Gonzalez.
Here.
Student Board Member Rodriguez Nunez.
Here.
And Student Board Member Henry.
Here.
Thank you. First, we'd like to ask if anyone in the audience requires a headset for Spanish translation, please raise your hand and a device will be provided to you.
Y si alguien del público requiere de audífonos para traducción, por favor avísenos.
Perfect. Next, we'll continue to the Pledge of Allegiance. Student Board Member Kimberly Rodriguez will lead the pledge. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. If you all could remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. We acknowledge a moment of silence be observed for Francis Eves, who dedicated 20 years of service as a district substitute in our nutrition services department as an assistant and cook manager. Thank you. Six D, our mission statement. First, Philip will read our mission statement.
All members of Palm Springs Unified School District are united in our commitment to equity. We create deep, meaningful learning opportunities, build professionalism, and engage parents and community to ensure success for all students. All students graduate with the skills, capacities, and confidence needed to succeed in a rapidly changing world.
Thank you, Student Board Member Gonzalez. Next, Dr. Signoret will read the mission statement in Spanish.
Todos los miembros del Distrito Escolar Unificado de Palm Springs están unidos en nuestro compromiso con la equidad. Creamos oportunidades de aprendizaje profundas y significativas. Creamos profesionalismo e involucramos a los padres y a la comunidad para garantizar el éxito de todos los estudiantes. Todos los estudiantes se gradúan con las habilidades, capacidades y confianza necesaria para tener éxito en un mundo de cambio rápido.
Thank you. Number 7, the report of closed session actions. Clerk Cornett, are there any closed session actions to report?
There are no closed session actions to report.
Thank you. We move on to the approval of our agenda.
Donna, I think we skipped the land acknowledgement.
Oh, the land acknowledgement. Oh, yes. Let's go back. Micah, would you please read our land acknowledgement?
The Palm Springs Unified School District acknowledges the Cahuilla as the original stewards of the land on which the Palm Springs Unified School District facilities now sit. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work with the indigenous people in this place. We pay our respect to the Cahuilla people, past, present, and emerging, who have been here since the immemorial.
Thank you, Board Member Micah. Next, we move on to our report of closed session actions. Clerk Cornett, are there any closed session actions to report?
There are no closed session items to report.
Number 8, the approval of our agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I move the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Number 9, we are going to continue with our public comment. Clerk Cornett, have we received any electronic comments?
We have not received any electronic comments.
Thank you. Next, we have our yellow speaker cards. If anyone would like to fill one out, you still have time. And we ask that the comments that are presented to the board, our speaker comes up to the podium here, and we ask that your speech to the board be under 3 minutes and be devoid of any personal attacks. We also ask that the members of public here in the audience are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during public comments. So, and as you know, board members do not respond to public comments. So we do have 2 speaker cards, and our first person to invite to the podium is Ms. Rebecca Flores.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Rebecca Flores. I'm here today because as a parent, I believe in working together with the school to create a safe and supportive environment where all students, including my son, can thrive. Our family is committed to finding constructive solutions that align with the school's value and standards. We value a collaborative relationship with the school, and we are here with the intent of working constructively rather than confrontationally. Unfortunately, I've observed a troubled pattern of excessive and sudden disciplinary actions by Principal Perez Chica. Without any open discussion with us as parents, this has been distressing for my son and other families, as these decisions are often made unilaterally without our input or involvement. I'm concerned about this recurring pattern of excessive punishment and the lack of transparency, as it only serves to alienate us from being part of positive solution. As a parent, I believe that focusing on the root causes of behavior rather than isolation students is key to helping them grow. When my son's actions are taken out of context, it only increases his distress rather than helping him learn. Addressing the influences around him, such as the social dynamics and that contribute to his behavior, could be far more beneficial in fostering his growth. The restrictive measures imposed by the school have pushed me to make a difficult decision to request independent studies for my son. The environment became so restrictive that I felt I had no choice. Extreme actions such as police visits and CPS involvement have created an additional distress for our family and eroded for thrust into school. I want my son to feel supported within the school, not punished away due to these intense restrictions. I fully understand and respect the school's need to maintain high standards. However, I believe that discipline should be proportionate and focused on fostering positive behavior rather than punitive isolation. Selective punishment and only damages trust and undermines the supportive environment we all strive for. I'm here today to ask for a partnership between families and the school. Working together, we can create an environment that benefits not just my son, but all students. I respectfully ask for the board to consider a collaborative approach so that we can build trust and support in the way that I truly helps our children succeed. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Gregorio to our podium. You're going to pass? Okay. Thank you. Okay. We all have special recognitions tonight, 3 separate recognitions. And the board will recognize our first employees of the month for the month of November 2024. And we'll start with a few short videos.
So we chose to recognize Xavier Ramirez. He's our security officer on the Cathedral City campus of Mount San Jacinto High School. He is being recognized because he's a one-man show. He is our only security guard, and we have usually 4 or 5 different schools that feed into our program. And so he has to get to know all these different personalities in a very short amount of time because we get new kids every 9 weeks. And his goal is always to be proactive, to get to know kids and who they hang out with, what's going on outside of school. It's building those relationships with students is what makes him so special. He remains incredibly calm during situations. Whenever there's a crisis, he just acts. He jumps in, he calls for backup. The staff here is amazing at stepping in and helping when there's a situation. Fortunately, because he is so proactive, we don't have as many situations as you would think for a continuation school. Xavier, you know I'm always impressed with your work, your dedication, and your work ethic. I know how much this school means to you and the relationships that you build with your students. Thank you for doing all that you do to make MSJ an amazing place for kids to feel safe and secure. So we would like to recognize our lead custodian on the Edward Wenslaff Education Center site for MSJ, Anthony Ramos. Anthony is a very dedicated worker. He not only worries about making sure that it's a clean and sanitary campus for students, perhaps more than any other custodian I've worked with, he really gets involved with the students. He likes building relationships and supporting students. In fact, he in the past has coached esports when we needed someone to step up. He also has been involved in building the weight room for the campus there. He has filled out grants to receive additional weights and has had donations made. So he really takes his job seriously and cares deeply for both the campus and the kids. I think probably what I find most admirable about Anthony is that he is just so dedicated to his job.
Vista. Yeah. Like the brag about myself.
Because he wants to get the job done, he wants to make sure that the kids have what they need. And the fact that he just interacts with the kids so much and so well, and they all know him by name, and they all care about him and recognize the fact that he's an asset to the campus. Anthony, we really appreciate you. I think you know this. I know that you make a big difference in the lives of the students on that campus. I know you care, and more importantly, they know that you care about them.
Get John.
Like 75 degrees.
Excellent. Write that inside. Angles go inside. Angles go inside.
He is all in, and he loves interacting with kids. He loves interacting with staff. He likes to coach some of the younger teachers, and it's just his level of dedication and commitment that's so admirable. We would like to recognize Dr. William Olvera, math teacher and math lead at our WEC MSJ campus. He is our admin designee on the EWEC campus, so he fills in when I'm not there and when Mrs. Taylor, the assistant principal, is not there. So he steps up and takes care of what's needed.
Right. All right, so you all wrote down a right triangle, correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, look at you guys being so nice. Thank you.
But beyond that, he really cares about the students on the campus. He really cares about the campus culture. And so even though he doesn't necessarily need to be, he's always out on campus in between classes, during lunch, interacting with kids, trying to build up their self-esteem, their self-confidence.
Coaching football in the district has been a true blessing and honor. I've learned so much.
Dr. O, I'm always impressed with how much you care, how much the students know you care, which is probably even more important than if I know, and the fact that you're always looking to find ways that you can better support the students, that you can make the campus better, that you can make the school better, and that you can make your own instruction better, and that's really appreciated.
And then go ahead and update your rates. Wow! My monthly premium would be $470 if I were.
Not only is she an amazing teacher, but she is willing to do whatever it takes to make the campus a better school. Cynthia Limon, she is our math teacher. She's also my admin designee on the Cathedral City campus.
You might want to look at it through your phone because it's not loading correctly on that one. See how they're not popping up? And like, so for instance, if you wanted to buy this vehicle that costs this much money, that's how much you would have to give to the dealership before you even drove it off the lot. How are you doing?
She usually is looking for ways to support kids outside of school.
Your own and find the annual rate. So now again,
She will step up and she will help out as in when I'm not here, and she'll take it upon herself if she sees that I'm tied up in doing something. She'll step up and help when she knows that I'm not able to deal with the situation. Mrs. Limon, you are such a terrific teacher. You are always trying to find what your kids need to give them just that little bit extra so that they're able to understand difficult math concepts in your classes. But beyond that, I know you truly care and you want to see all of our kids successful, and I appreciate you for all of that.
We present the Certificated Employee of the Month to Cynthia Limon.
Could you come up?
From Mount St. Jacinto Continuation High School. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Limon, would you like to speak to the audience and appreciate any family?
Sure.
Here?
I don't
you don't need that.
I have a teacher voice. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for Brad, Mr. Seipel, for nominating me. There's a lot of teachers at the campus that we wear multiple hats, and I'm just thankful that you were able to nominate me. Thank you, teachers, for supporting, and thank you, parents and family, for coming before you do that.
Thank you.
We would now like to announce the Certificated Employee of the Month for November 2024 to Dr. William Olvera for the Edward Wenzloff Education Center. Congratulations.
Okay, Dr. Olvera, would you like to speak to the audience or your family?
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and thank you all for coming, and thank you, board members, and for all the support. The district's been amazing to me over the past 30 years, and I've always wanted to give my best effort, and I appreciate Tanisha so much, Brad so much. They've been so supportive. All our EWEC family, MSJ, both campuses have been lovely. It's been an honor and blessing, and so thank you for the award, and nice to see everybody. A lot of us have known each other over the years, so I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for this award. All right.
Together? Or you want to get more? More? Okay. All right. So we'll continue with our Classified Employee of the Month. Want to read this one, Micah?
Our classified Employee of the Month is Anthony Ramos from Edward Wenzloff Education Center.
Anthony, would you like to speak to your family or your staff or the community?
I'd like to say thank you to my daughter for coming with me today. And to all the staff that came out, and my boss Crystal for showing up. I really appreciate it. I love working with everybody at the school. It's my favorite place to be at all times. I'll stay all day if they let me. So thank you very much.
Good job. Thank you. Xavier Ramirez.
Now for Classified Employee of the Month is for Xavier Ramirez from Mount San Jacinto Continuation High School.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Come on down, meet everybody.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know. You want it up? Would you like to say hello to or anything to your family?
Yeah.
Want to say it this way?
Yeah, just want to give thank you to my administrator, both actually, Tanisha, wherever you're here. To my family that's here tonight, I know I'm here receiving this award, but my wife, she deserves all the credit, you know. My kids, everybody at work, you know, receiving this award means a lot in this crucial time that I'm going through right now. So means a lot, definitely. Sometimes you feel like you show up to work and you're not being recognized, and just glad somebody did, you know. Thank you.
Good to hear that. So we'll take a picture with them. Okay.
I have them four right here in the middle, and
I
the
know.
rest of you guys are gonna wrap.
Okay.
So you four right here, cover up this table.
Knock something over.
Okay, so we got three groups.
All right. You want to say these? Okay. So the first one is Syra Lara. Okay, and the governing board wishes to recognize. Oh, say it, and then you say the name. Okay. All right. Tonight we'd like to recognize and commend the following Palm Springs Unified students for their commitment to academic excellence. And first being Syra Lara from Mount San Jacinto Continuation High School. Would you like to read this?
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and read it. Come on over here.
Aw. For Syra Lara, in recognition of your extraordinary commitment to hard work, dedication, perseverance, and exceptional academic excellence at Mount San Jacinto High School during the 2024-2025 school year.
Thank you so much.
Would the nominating person like to speak about Syra? That's you, Brad. Here we go.
Thank you. So Syra came to us last year as a junior, and she has just been an amazing student at during her time at MSJ. This is her daughter, who is turning 2 next month. And since she's been with us, she has just shown to be such a mature young lady, always on top of things, always checking to make sure what's next. As she was preparing to graduate, she met graduation requirements just at the end of the first quarter, so she is technically a graduate. And now she's working to not only support her family, but she'll be starting at College of the Desert in January. So we're very, very proud of her.
Stay here. Next one. Right now? With the two of them? Okay. It's whatever you like. You pick. Keep up the good work, okay? Thank you. Next, the governing board wishes to recognize and commend Nicholas Ransom from Ed Winslow Education Center.
This certificate is awarded to Nicholas Ransom in recognition of your extraordinary commitment to hard work, dedication, perseverance, and exceptional academic excellence at Edward Winslow Education Center during the 2024-2025 school year. Congratulations.
Your turn. Here you go.
So I've known Nick almost for 2 years now. So Nick came to us as a sophomore. We don't take a lot of students as sophomores, but Nick came to us as a sophomore. And it's been so much fun to watch him mature. It's interesting because he started with us on our Cathedral City campus, and then his family moved, and so he is now on our Winslow campus in Desert Hot Springs. But just to see how much he has grown, not only as a student, but as a young man, he is so polite. He is able to talk with students of all backgrounds, adults of all backgrounds. And I'm really, really excited for him as he's getting close to graduating soon, going on to college, and I'm sure that he's going to accomplish some amazing things in life.
Good job. Joan coming up? Okay. Ms. Boyko, are you going to come up too? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll go on to this. We have a distinguished award. Would you like to talk about this, Ms. Boyko? I can. Okay, I'll do this too. Here in the state of California, we belong to a school board association, and we're very proud to participate with 4,000 other school board members from across the state. This is such an honor to have one of our local community members be honored in the state of California for what's called a Golden Quill Award. And Ms. Boyko can also tell you more about how important this is because I nominated her a few years ago. So come on up.
Miss Jennifer, come up here. Jennifer Cortez is I say our because she really is. She's our education reporter from the Desert Sun. And this award is given by the California School Boards Association. The nominations come from local boards of education, local districts, and it's for integrity. It's for excellent reporting. And what I can say about Jennifer is she checks all those boxes and more. We're very fortunate. Jennifer was a teacher at La Quinta High School before she got crazy and decided to go into the field of journalism. And I say that with love because I am a former journalist. And I'm so happy you did that because she gets it. So when she does a story, she has the right intent, which is to inform and to educate the community. And it's not about gotcha. Not all the news is great, but she always handles it with, as I said, integrity, honesty, and wanting to get it right. And we appreciate you, and we're lucky to have you. This is for you. And this is nice.
Yeah. Okay. Come and meet the board.
Congratulations again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for honoring these special people. So as we continue, we'll move on to our student board member reports. We'll first start with student board member Kimberly Rodriguez Nunez from Cathedral City High School.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kimberly again, and here is my November report for Cathedral City High School. Oh my goodness. So to begin, this is what things I'll be overviewing today, which is I'll have our events recap, sports highlights, Veterans Day, and lastly, National School Psychology Week. So to begin, here we have our events recap. So from late October to early November, we had a lot of events revolving Halloween and Dia de los Muertos. So to the left, we see pictures of kind of a glimpse of what Halloween was like at Cathedral City High School with students dressing up, as well as some teachers who dressed up as Powerpuff Girls. And then to the right, we have something that our fine arts have been doing, which are portraits inspired by Dia de los Muertos, where they used colored tissue paper to create that. Many of our clubs have also been very active through this time, and one that we wanted to highlight was Friendship Club, as they also decorated Halloween cookies just a few weeks ago. And then another exciting thing that we have is our Midsummer Jersey play, which premiered last week, and it will also be going on this week until Saturday. So now moving on to sports highlights. For my past reports, I've briefly talked about some sports that are in season, but now that the season is coming to an end, we have many achievements that I would like to touch on, such as both boys and girls cross country going to league champions. Girls volleyball also had a very great season as they went to League Champs Playoffs Round 2 CIF. Our girls tennis did awesome as well with being league champions. We're actually undefeated in league, and we actually had 4 girls who were league individual champs. And apart from this, we have 2 other girls who also did amazing. Nevea Cardozo, who is league MVP, and Amaya Navarro Guzman, who finished 9th overall at league champs for golf. Now for Veterans Day. For Veterans Day, one of our expository reading and writing curriculum teachers, Mrs. Gramming, she really emphasized this honorable day by doing both decor inside and outside of her classroom. As you can see, she had a lot of patriotic decor with different banners and stars and many things like that. And she also put up a poster right outside of her door where she invited students to draw or write a thank you card for one of our veteran teachers, Mr. Wilson, as well as for other veterans in our community. And then there I just have a quote of what the ERWC curriculum, one of its module purposes, as it involves being an engaged citizen, and this is one way that she did it. This is a video where I talked to some of our psychology teachers. Why do you think it is important that teachers are able to teach psychology?
Every student should take psychology class. I don't even think it should be an elective anymore. I think it should be a required course for juniors and seniors. It makes a student actually self-reflect, so they start to learn a little bit more about themselves as they get older. I think it's a valuable skill to have, to understand that.
Because psychology is entirely about the study of the way that we think and the way that we act. And so it pretty much applies to every aspect of everybody's life. And there's a lot of things in psych that seem intuitive, that seems like anyone with common sense would just know it. But then research oftentimes shows that that's not the case.
And what is one thing that you find most interesting about the subject that you like to teach?
I think memory is probably one of my favorite topics. Memory seems like such a simple thing that you just play it back in your mind, and it's very accurate. But a lot of our memories, especially memories for things that happen to us, called episodic memories, are highly unreliable, even when we're very confident that they are.
Yeah, I like a lot of different subjects. Motivation is really interesting. I like studying also some of the things like disorders are interesting. Depression and schizophrenia and things like that are really interesting to understand why they happen.
That was the end of that, and I just think it was really insightful because as these teachers, they teach different levels of psychology. Other students are able to have a wide variety of experiences with learning, and that was it for National School Psychology Week. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Rodriguez Nunez. Next, we invite our Palm Springs High School Student Board Member, Micah Henry, to present her report.
Hello, I'm Micah, and this is the Palm Springs High School November report. To once again reiterate, this is our WASC year, therefore our school is focusing heavily on WASC criteria. Category A, Organization for Student Learning. Our AVID program had their seniors and juniors research our career and present an informational presentation to the underclassmen. They also visited La Sierra Criminal Justice Campus as part of their college tours. The Film Pathway hosted their annual Day of Professionalism. This Day of Professionalism requires students to dress in business professional attire and complete resumes. Next year, this day will be expanding throughout multiple pathway programs on campus. Here are the students on the Professionalism Day and during their tours. Category B, Curriculum. This month's spotlight is our Social Studies department. This month, they are establishing social studies writing goals for grade levels. World and U.S. history will complete one 5-paragraph essay per semester. The civics and econ classes are practicing writing during class and are required to write a formal 5-paragraph argumentative essay. During the election, teachers taught with fair, unbiased, and balanced election coverage by using mapping and projections. Students were also taught the importance of unbiased opinions and danger of biased media when it comes to politics. Here are some of our classes in action. Category C, Learning and Teaching. In the final stretch of College and Career and Readiness Month, our counseling team hosted a college application and scholarship parent night meeting. This presentation reiterated the opportunities our students are offered in terms of scholarships and paths to take after high school. Category D, Assessment and Accountability. Palm Springs High School was ranked 19th in the ranking of the best public high schools in Riverside County. This is an amazing reflection of all of the hard work that goes into our school every day. This accomplishment is due to the accountability and cooperation between students and teachers. It sets a higher precedent for success at our school. Category E, School Culture and Support for Student Personnel. Homecoming Week. Leading up to our biggest dance of the year, our school was full of homecoming celebrations and activities such as our annual parade, rally, and homecoming game with an amazing halftime show. Our Spirit of the Sands band, led by Mr. Matt Ingleson, had a very busy couple of weeks. Since the beginning of October, they performed in 2 football games, 4 parades, 1 concert, a field show exhibition, and 1 civic event for the city. On October 30th, they hosted their annual Spooktacular concert, a showcase in which they invite schools district-wide. Our band believes in representing all communities, which is why we're the only band to perform in all local parades. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Henry. Next, we'll invite Student Board Member Philip Gonzalez from Rancho Mirage High School.
Hi, my name is Philip Gonzalez, and this is the Rancho Mirage High School report for November 12, 2024. We're going to be talking about our student life today. Starting off with our homecoming halftime. Our homecoming football game was played against Xavier College Prep this year, including the showcase of our floats, the announcement of our homecoming queen, and performances from our cheer and dance teams. For our homecoming floats, our homecoming season, each class constructs a float to showcase the different aspects of our homecoming theme. This year, each class picked a horror movie to be displayed. Our winners for the 2024 class float competition were the senior class of 2025. So for our freshmen, they were Happy Death Day. Our sophomores were Beetlejuice. Our juniors were Scream, and then our seniors were It. And then we had our homecoming dance. On October 26th, we held our homecoming dance. Our theme this year was Homecoming Horror Night. The event included a DJ, game trucks, a taco man, photo booth, and horror decorations. Next, we had our annual Fright Night. Our annual Fright Night event was held on October 24th. Our Fright Night includes performances from our dance team, dance classes, Rattler Regiment, choir classes, T-Tex, and food tastings from our Cafe Academy. And next we have our Ramon Road rivalry game and our Newly Cup. Our rivalry game against Palm Springs High School became more intense as a new tradition was established by the two ASB presidents, me and Miss Micah Henry, the ASB president of Palm Springs High School. Our newly added Ramon Road Rivalry Cup will be awarded to the winner of the Rancho Mirage Palm Springs football game each year and was presented to Rancho Mirage this year as we won with a final score of 49-29. No shade. On top of the win against Palm Springs, we also claimed We also claimed the title of Desert Empire League co-champions when having a league season of 4-1. Our boys, being in Division 8 of CIF, traveled to Tustin High School to play against the Beckman Patriots this last Saturday. And next, we have our annual canned food drive. Our ASB and Plus programs are hosting our annual canned food drive. Our students are encouraged to donate non-perishable food items that will be distributed to those in need. So we're running this, and then for each can that is donated, we're giving a raffle ticket and giving out stuff like our sweaters, our shirts, and other stuff from our student store. Thank you.
Thank you, Student Board Member Gonzalez. Could we all give all three board members a round of applause? Well done. Presentation number 12A. We will ask Dr. Kovacs to introduce our presenter.
Good evening. Our Educational Services update will be presented by our Director of Student Services, Lisa Todd. She'll be providing some information updates around programs and a focus on attendance as well from their department.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Very glad to be here, and I'm glad to be able to share some positive developments that are coming from our attendance focused efforts, as well as some things coming from student services this evening. So starting off with just some of the trends that we've been keeping an eye on after the pandemic. First, we are seeing improved attendance rates, and that's the average number of students that are showing up on campuses each day. But we are still seeing those numbers below where we were prior to the pandemic. So that's something that we're continuing to keep a focus on. We also immediately post-pandemic saw some very large increases in our chronic absenteeism rates at our elementary sites, and that's students who are missing 10% or more of their enrolled school days. And we are definitely seeing positive reductions in those rates, and I'll show you some data here shortly. But our elementary numbers are definitely starting to look better. We are still seeing a higher number of students discussing things like school refusal, school anxiety, and missing school because of mental health related reasons. And so we'll talk about some of the strategies and things that we are continuing to try and focus on here in student services. So starting with some attendance rates, and this is some positive news. Our goal prior to the pandemic was 95%, and so that's telling us that 95% of students on average are showing up on campuses every day. We have not reached that number yet. We are seeing some very bright spots at some certain school sites, but right now already we're seeing a significant improvement from where we were last year. The data in front of you is from the end of October of 2023 versus 2024. And I've highlighted there we're seeing our largest increase at the elementary level, which again is really positive. That was one of the areas that we took the biggest hit on right after we came back from the school closure. And so we're definitely seeing more of our elementary students showing up continuously. We're also seeing increases in our middle and high school attendance rates as well. And so our district goal is 92% this year, and right now we are above that, so we're hoping to continue that positive momentum. In terms of chronic absenteeism, these are, again, the numbers of students that are missing 10% or more of their enrolled school days. And so that has become a measure to potentially impact reading levels and graduation levels. So it's something we're paying a lot of attention to. And so, again, we're seeing a significant decrease in the number of students that are missing 10% or more at this point in the year. If we're comparing numbers from October of last year to October of this year, right now our numbers are looking at 4.5% rejection, which is extremely positive, with our largest increase again at the elementary level. So we're having many more of our elementary students showing up continuously and not missing large number of days at this point in the school year. We're also seeing improvements in our middle school numbers as well as high school numbers. Last year, our end of the year school chronic absenteeism rate was 34.3%, which is very large, so we're continuing to focus on dropping that level. District goal would be a 25% chronic absenteeism rate or 5% reduction, and we're well on our way to being able to meet that goal. Some student group attendance data to share. We're seeing continuous improvement in several of our areas, particularly our students with disabilities, our special education subgroup that we are paying a lot of attention to. We're seeing right now some positive trends. This data is just comparing September of 2023 to September of 2024. So at this point, we've only had about 38 school days, which means that if a student missed 4 days or more, they will show up on our chronic absenteeism rate. So while we are not seeing the great improvements in all of our student groups, we are really trying to work on building on the positive impacts that we're having. And then I'll share shortly with some of the strategies and interventions that we're working on to address all of our students. So one of the first things that we've asked is that all of our school sites have developed and submitted a school site attendance improvement plan that comes to student services, and Ben Manis, our coordinator for student services, and myself are working with school sites to review those and make sure that they are implementing those on their school sites. And it really has a focus to make sure that schools have a well-rounded attendance plan. And it's very easy to kind of look at the incentives and reward kids who are showing up, but we really want to make sure that we actually have a plan for those who may be missing more days than not. So we are looking at the multi-tiered system for attendance supports and continuing to work with school sites in all tier levels. Some of the most identified barriers that we have that are continuing to be reported to us are listed there. Student illness and health conditions continues to be one of the leading barriers for students attending school regularly. We're also seeing numbers of students and families reporting school anxiety or concerns about safety, lack of reliable transportation, and then continuing to see a higher trend of student refusal and or just disconnection and students not feeling connected to the school process. So some of the things that we're really working on trying to put in place through student services are having, one of the key things has been medical assistants and school nurses at every school site, and that has been extremely helpful to address some of the health issues that are continuing to be reported on school campuses, as well as we've developed a very strong relationship with IEHP that has worked with us to create a health navigator program, and this is a person who works with IEHP but will kind of handhold families through the process of accessing care, whether it's health care, behavioral health care, things like that, to really make sure that students can get the resources that they need. We're developing comprehensive school counseling programs to really address those connection pieces and making sure that all students are receiving that tier 1, being connected on campus, as well as mental health support from our district and partner agencies. And then we've been, our transportation director is extremely awesome and very willing to work with us and come up with creative solutions when we're dealing with some of those families that may have a transportation barrier. And then for our unhoused families, we've worked on really trying to bulk up the supports that we have available, including gas cards. And while we don't just hand the gas cards to families, our liaisons will go meet them at a gas station and fuel them up so that they'd be able to transport students to and from school. We're also working with school sites to have very intentional staff connections, and not just our teachers, but also other staff on campus, so that students who are missing a few days a week because they're not feeling connected to campus, if somebody is noticing, somebody is checking in on them, and somebody is helping make sure that their needs are being met, we're seeing very positive increases in those students' attendance. And then if you aren't familiar with them, we have an amazing district community liaison team. They are the ones that will go out and find families that are no longer communicating with schools. And they are masters at building relationships, building that trust back with families, and getting them reconnected with the school site. Some of the things that the schools are working on, because we're really trying to work on, again, bulking up their effective attendance programs is having them review this attendance data at staff meetings on a regular basis. We've had teacher feedback come to us that said, I don't know what our numbers look like, or I don't know what it means with chronic absenteeism. So many of the principals are taking that upon themselves to really bring their staffs along with the process. Also incorporating staff reach out to families of students who are missing. So because a phone call from or a connection with a teacher who sees that student every day sometimes means more than maybe a very well-meaning and awesome person in the office, but may not have that connection with the family. Also, some programs, some schools are looking at staff mentoring programs for students with patterns of chronic absenteeism. Again, this is really that connection piece and having somebody know that that student has somebody to count on, an adult on their campus. As I mentioned, the nurses and medical assistants, and we're really trying to utilize them if we're starting to see a pattern of chronic absenteeism due to an excused absence. So just regular calls saying the student is sick. Having somebody with medical knowledge be able to reach out and make sure that we can connect them with resources. Having school site attendance teams that are established and meeting regularly. And then several of our schools, especially elementary sites, are looking at what we're calling friendly or tardy policies, which is them greeting students for longer at the gate rather than immediately having them go through the office. We've had parents say that process can be really intimidating, and sometimes they will keep their child home rather than actually having them deal with people in the office. So we're really trying to address some of those procedural barriers that might be creating issues. And so you may have seen some information here. Ben Manis, again, did a great job of organizing our September Attendance Awareness Month campaign. So we had a district spirit week, prize drawings, participation challenge days, as well as some site trainings, including one for effective SART meetings, which is the student attendance review team at the site level. And then we're also doing some technical work with Riverside County Office of Education. And so they've done some work with all of our principals, helping them identify root cause for the absence patterns that they're seeing on their campuses, looking at some of the processes they're using and whether they're intentionally or unintentionally creating barriers for families. Empathy interviews for some of our students that we are not seeing that same level of progress. Parent surveys so that we can start getting more information, not just from the students, but also from parents about what barriers they're seeing and what issues they might be facing getting students to school regularly, as well as they're doing some direct technical support with 4 of our school sites. And then at the Tier 3 level, Ben runs the SARB program, so the Student Attendance Review Board, which is at the district level. That's when our families have kind of maxed out all the resources that are happening on their campuses and need some district level intervention. And so we are able to have representatives from every department, including special education, mental health, health services, and family engagement in the meeting at the time, so that if an issue comes up and a resource is offered, it can be initiated right at that time. So we want to make sure that people are in the room. We also have collaboration with community agencies, including a very strong relationship with our district attorney's office. And the representative who attends our meetings is not prosecutorial, so she's there only as a service and as a guide, and really helping to avoid having any of the sort of punitive repercussions that sometimes come out of attendance proceedings. As well as we partner with the Safe Family Justice Center, Boys and Girls Club, and Safe House of the Desert. And then we also we utilize the district community liaison team to really monitor and follow up with those families. So the information, the graph that's shared with you, the 2 middle bars, the blue one and the red one, kind of show the overall outcome. So vast majority of the cases that came through SARB had improved attendance versus no improvement. And then some of the other outcomes are also listed there. We had some that went to district attorney mediation, an alternative placement. We did have a couple citations referred to court, as well as a few other outcomes that have come from the SARB program. And then finally, I wanted to be able to share some information about some of the non-traditional ways that we're looking at addressing attendance, and that's particularly in helping our students be able to attend our campuses consistently and reduce some of the offenses that they were being suspended for. And so one of the focus areas that we've really taken on is addressing substance use on our school campuses. So we have an amazing group of staff. They are called prevention specialists. We have one at every middle school, one at each high school, as well as one that serves MSJ Cathedral City campus and Edward Wensloff campus. And then we have two that work under student services. They support the SARB program, as well as our gang intervention program that we're working on. And 10 of those 12 prevention specialists are currently going through a program to be certified drug and alcohol counselors. And so the process that works on our campus is that when a student has a substance use offense, they're referred to this prevention specialist to get a tailored intervention. And so it's not just a cookie cutter set of lessons. They really do an intake with the student. They help determine their level of use. And then we utilize their expertise as well as our other partners to make sure that student can get some adequate support. We are continuing to see increased numbers of substance use post-pandemic that was really, students were saying that was related to mental health concerns, stress, anxiety. And so one of the great pieces of data that we've been able to utilize is that looking at this year so far versus students who received this intervention last year, 74% have not had a second violation. So in all of this work, we're really trying to continue to keep attendance as a focus area. We know that's a core feature that we want to make sure that will impact all of the other things students are doing. And that's all that I have for you. So thank you.
Board member questions or comments?
I'm just curious. I see the big, huge adjustment for the elementary students. What are they specifically doing that's different that you've seen so far that's different from any of the other grade levels?
So first, I'll tell you that the last couple of years, our elementary numbers have been much lower than our middle and high school numbers, which was a huge reversal from what typically happens. So they had a lot farther to overcome. What we are seeing is the direct efforts to reconnect students and families. They're doing a lot more with direct outreach to families and communicating about procedures, processes, inviting families to be on the campus for events and that kind of thing, as well as a lot of involving the staff as part of the attendance process. And the addressing health issues has been one of the other major things that was happening or creating a lot of issues with our elementary attendance previously, that we're now starting to see parents have a better understanding of when it's okay to send their students to school, and sending them back sooner rather than they were the longest group to hold on to the COVID 5 or more days. We're definitely seeing a reversal in those trends.
And so is the other groups, do we have a plan to kind of do something similar with the other groups?
We're working on it, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then also with the groups that didn't show any type of growth, do we have a plan on trying to get them up to speed with everyone else in the other race?
Yes. And so some of those things are some of the strategies that we're talking about, particularly some of the empathy interviews. So, because we make a lot of kind of general guesses about what we think might be going on, but we really need to hear it from the people that it's affecting. So that would be the students in various student groups and the parents in various student groups, as well as specific school sites. So I didn't pull things necessarily by what the numbers can look like at certain school sites, but that also is something that we're working with very closely. And that's another area where we're using Riverside County Office of Ed to do some technical support at some of the school sites that are most impacted.
Thank you.
And I'm just curious, how would the friendlier tardy policy work?
So we actually have elementary schools that have decided to, instead of right at the bell, closing the gate and having students have to go through the office, they keep the gate open for another 15 minutes. They're still tardy and they get a tardy pass. They've also changed the language. So it says, I'm here and I'm ready, or we're so glad you're here, or something like that, rather than the big, bold tardy. And so it also shifts what I've been told by those who are implementing it is that it shifts the teacher's attitude when the student walks in as well. Because if they hand them a pass that says I'm here and I'm ready, they're much more likely to be like, great, awesome, come on in, as opposed to why are you tardy again? So it's things like that. It's just us thinking through procedures that we may not think are causing barriers that are. So.
Thank you.
Kind of, yeah, kind of a follow up to what he said. Is that what you just explained for like elementary school, or is it also would it be implemented for like middle and high school, or how would it be different?
So it could be. Right now, it's a little bit up to the school site attendance team to determine their process. We did have one middle school that was going to look at doing something similar. Primarily, the ones who have been implementing it consistently have been elementaries.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lisa, and everyone from Student Services. Okay. As we move ahead, we'll go on to our board member comments. Do we have any comments from the board? And I'll start. Since no one's piped up, I'll start. October was Principal Appreciation Month, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but it's still not too late to say thank you to all of our assistant principals and principals, because we recognize and commend you on your being our educational leaders who play a great difference and make a big impact in our schools. So thank you again to our principals and assistant principals. Secondly, on October 28th and 29th, we hosted what is now called our Palm Springs Unified Board Work Days. And we did a lot of work here in our boardroom and together as a team of members with our cabinet and administrators and our superintendent. And this was a lot of work that we did in 2 days. And we did have an additional ethics training, which really is really important because it's a new law that's being passed that we attend this ethics training, and our board and our cabinet and many of our staff have completed it. And thank you all for participating with us. Third, Wednesday, October 30th was the Palm Springs State of the City in the Annenberg Theater, and I had a chance to see our MTU Ranch Mirage team perform there and start the kickoff for the presentation of the State of the City. But then I had to move on to the Palm Springs Riches Center because there was the Spooktacular that night, and all the costumes and decorations and the combination of Palm Springs music department along with Desert Hot Springs Music Department. It was amazing with Anthony Reese and Piglet playing the piano. It was really a great night, and the kids had fun. It was a terrific event. Thank you all. Also, on the October 31st, I attended County Supervisor Karen Spiegel's. She has a Zoom meeting at lunchtime with 161 women in politics, elected women's leadership, she calls it. And so I get to meet women from across the county, and I usually tune in each month to find out what other leaders are saying. Then I also want to say that I did get to attend the second part of the APAC meeting and hear Mark Arnold talk about our plans for our students, and then some parents with questions that night. Also ahead, on the November 6th, I had the chance to go down to the Agua Caliente Cultural Museum, and they have a speaker series, and Palm Springs Unified was on that topic for the first night of their series, and it was called the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Culture Museum Contemporary Curricular Project. And they had 3 featured speakers, and they recorded the speaking event, and the public was invited to attend. And I want to thank Kate Anderson, John Winkle the third, and Anthony Purnell for presenting all the collaboration and the content that we have adopted here in our district. I was interested to find out if we're close to adopting the 11th grade curriculum, and that is still in the process, I believe. And one thing I didn't know was that each school that hosts this adoption of the 3rd and 8th grade, they get a suitcase of artifacts that the tribe makes just for that curriculum. And they showed the suitcase of artifacts. And they said very rarely do our students break them. And if they're broken, they go back to the tribe, and then they'll get different ones. So that was really special being there. I attended with board member Cornett, the CALSA, California Association of Latino Superintendents and Administrators, with Dr. Julio Mir, Jeff Simmons, Juanita Perez Chica, and we learned about our local chapter and how CALSA supports students. And then on Friday, November 8th, I was in a Zoom with San Miguel de Allende City, with Palm Springs City, VDM, Vista Del Monte Art in the Moxie Box. And it was so great to see Mayor Bernstein on camera, Jairo Armenta, and doing their tin art in 3rd and 4th grade with Ojalata art, doing tin coloring and impressions. And the really wonderful thing about this event was all the students were practicing their English and Spanish when speaking to each other. So that was really special to see them Zoom in real time to Mexico and speak with kids. So that's what I have to say.
Go next.
Yes.
I don't want to repeat all of the stuff that you said because we've had a very, very busy month. But I will want to say thank you to our student board members for your excellent reports tonight, and also to say a big thank you to our community for passing our Palm Springs Unified School District bond. I mean, it really shows the support that we have in our community for our school district. And it's just wonderful to see that we have such great community support, and thank you to Jeff for all your efforts in getting that passed, and for the rest of the cabinet and the board. Also, I just wanted to I did present at State of the District through the Desert Hot Springs Rotary Club, and I want to say a big thank you to the Palm Springs Rotary Club for all their support for our student families and community. I always like coming to the APAC meeting. You have a great meeting for our families. It's always great. And I don't know, I guess that's everything that you said, I agree with, and more. So I don't know if anybody else has anything different to add.
Sergio?
Yeah, I know, and I will be very briefly, but yeah, this time of the year is busy year for the all schools. Give example, the Palm Springs High School Homecoming Parade. I did in 1024 the LAG presentation. That is one of my favorite presentation because we have parents representing the whole school in the school district, and they have a lot of questions that we give the good information that is to improve their knowledge about how to the school district work, how to navigate the school district. Also, I like to be in the events like I assist to the Palm Springs High School homecoming football game because it's impressive how the community support them. Even in that day, and things was one conflict with the Dyers game, but the people was watching the game and watching the Dyers in the cell phone, and the school give announcement how was the game going and looking the game from the Palm Springs High School. And also the 2 days retreat with the all board member was very good days to good conversation, to improve our student achievement. Also in the 19 in the 20 I have the LCAP parent ambassador with the Dr. Pfeffer presentation. Was interesting. Part of the presentation was about explaining the different generations, the boomer, the generation X, and that opened my eyes in many ways because that is good information to understand how each generation is different. We want to push our children to be the same as us. We come from different time when they are exposed to different technologies, different ways to live, and I think that was a good presentation from Dr. Pfeffer. And I spent a little bit of time also assisting to the LGBTQ Aliens Pride Parade. Very impressive because when they give the numbers, how many people attend that event, I don't believe it because they mentioned 200,000, for example, and was true. There's a lot of people supporting that parade. And in the election day, we have the agenda planning, the historic agenda planning. And in November 7, also, I assist to the Raymond Creek Middle School first annual Native American Heritage Night with a performance and presentation at the Agua Caliente Tribal, the brew singer. They made good performance and they explain his heritage, his history with students and parents and different community members. Thank you for that, and that is it. Thank you.
Just a couple of things that weren't mentioned. First, I want to thank the Desert Realtors Association, and I believe it was the Palm Springs Kiwanis Club. Was it Kiwanis or Rotary? For the State of the District presentation at the Hilton. That's okay. Yeah. And it was the two groups I got to present the state of the district. They were very, very receptive. Thanks to Dr. Signoret and Mr. Simmons for assisting me and answering questions. So it was really nice to get out there. Today, again, with Dr. Signoret and Mr. Simmons, we had a 2x2, what we call a 2x2. It's a meeting with the city of Desert Hot Springs. Very productive. I think we've developed a very strong working relationship with that city. So that's much appreciated. And then one thing, not a board thing, but I'm a member of the Desert Hot Springs Rotary, and I started an Early Act club at Julius Corsini Elementary. And if you know anything about Early Act, it's a Rotary club for elementary kids, and it's really a kick. And I want to thank Principal Gomez and Mr. Salinas for assisting us in doing that. I'm really enjoying it a lot. Thank you.
All right, so I guess being last, you kind of repeat everything that everybody has said, so I won't do it. So what I'll do is I'll just say that I went to a lot of those different events with other board members, and it was great. One thing I would like to say is November the 4th through the 10th is Children's Book Week, and in California, 58% of third graders are below grade level in reading, and worse, 78% or 75% of the students of color and low income are lower. I mean, are 75% lower at grade level. So it's very important to read. So I just want to say that it's really important that we are focusing on reading, and that's all I have to say.
So that I would remember student board members. Board member Philip Gonzalez, do you have any additional comments?
I would like to invite the board to our winter dance show. It's going to be on December 5th and 6th. That's Thursday and Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. in our Helen Gown Performing Arts Center. And I would also like to say our new principal, Dr. Hendra, has had a really smooth coming into our school. He was interviewed by our journalism class called the Rattler Report. He helped me, he walked me out and crowning the homecoming queen, and he also helped me present our new rivalry cup. So he's been really involved, and he's pretty great.
Board Member Kimberly Rodriguez.
Hi. I want to say thank you again for the opportunity letting us be here, because I feel like I'm learning a lot through other people's presentations, like the one we just had about the improvements and reports with like attendance and things like that. And it just kind of reminded me to like take things like these things into account. Like I feel like I really learned how like when with like school, a relationship with like the staff and admin and teachers is just really important. So it's just things that I know I can take back to school and make suggestions at school with things like with like mental health and counselors to try to create a healthier environment at my school too. Thank you.
And Miss Henry from Palm Springs High School.
First, I would like to thank Philip and the Rancho admin for their collaboration to kind of really implement a deeper tradition for the rivalry game. I think it really creates more greater school culture. I would also like to invite the board to our dance and cheer showcase November 16th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. It'll be held in our main gym, our big gym. Doors are open at 12:30, and it is $10 per person for entry.
Okay, we'll move on to our superintendent report.
Thank you, President Jarrell. A few things. I'll try not to be too redundant. I know there's a couple of things. So I'll make it very brief. But first, I want to recognize Ms. Flores for speaking tonight. We'll definitely follow up on those concerns, see how we can assist the family. Also, student board members, Philip, Kimberly, Micah, great job with your reports. You guys are doing an awesome job, so please keep it up. Even with those little digs there, Philip, that's okay. Well, we'll keep up the good job. So I do want to highlight also the Pride Parade that Mr. Espericueta talked. I know President Jarrell was there as well and had a good contingency of staff that was represented. But I also want to recognize Lisa Todd was recognized. I can't remember the group. I don't know, Laura, if you remember what the group was, but she was recognized for her work for the community, correct? Safe Schools. Gotcha. So she was in her own Jeep, I believe, and had her own Jeep, so she didn't have to walk. But it was outstanding. Even in the thousands and thousands of people were there. I did hear Mr. Espericueta yelling out, "Tony, Tony!" And so I did manage to hear that. But it really was a great event, and so proud of all our Palm Springs High representation, including our bands, our GSAs, and many more. So great job to everybody for that. AI Symposium. On Friday, November 1st, I attended the RCOE Artificial Intelligence Symposium along with Dr. Kovach and Mr. Hill, and it was a very informative session highlighting reasonable matters of concern relative to AI, along with the numerous benefits and advantages. One of the most enlightening aspects of AI is that today it is at its worst version. In other words, it's only going to get better. So with that in mind, we have already brainstormed some of our first steps in how we want to address AI in Palm Springs Unified. And so as a starting point, Will Carr is going to help us draft some potential policy and expectations that we'll bring forward to the Board of Education in the near future. And then we'll follow up with a process of training personnel and students and how we address the AI changing the horizon for us in the future. Excuse me, Raptor security training. With student and staff safety as one of our top priorities, last week our security director, Mr. Alex Borrego, along with assistant principals Ryan Wohl, Mike Ryan, and Julio Mier, attended a Raptor security training in Dallas. It was a productive event, and they will be assisting Mr. Borrego with additional security strategies that we plan on implementing district-wide. Kiewit Native American Learning Day is coming up, and that'll be this Saturday. We're going to be hosting that event at Palm Springs High School. This event is open and free to the public. It starts at 10 a.m., and I highly recommend everybody to attend. There will be Native American cultural experiences, food, music, and activities for everyone. So please join us, as this is another great opportunity to recognize and celebrate the rich culture and significant contributions of our Native American community in the Coachella Valley. And like Board Clerk Cornett mentioned, I also want to thank our community for your overwhelming support of Measure S. And I also want to take this opportunity to also thank the board for your vision on this very important measure, and also offer, as you already did, a big thank you to Jeff Simmons and Julie Arthur for leading the way. So thank you very much. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, our number 16, our board action items. Item 16A is the approval of a salary agreement and employment agreement of assistant principal for Sunny Sands Elementary School, OE 4.4. And Mr. Clayton Hill will present.
All right. Good evening, Board President, esteemed colleagues. If Mr. Robert Stell could join me up here, I'm very pleased to recommend to Mr. Robert Stell as Assistant Principal for Sunny Sands Elementary School. Mr. Stell has earned his Bachelor's of Arts from Northwest Nazarene University in Nampa, Idaho, before completing his administration certification through Portland State University. Mr. Stell has previously served as a site administrator in Portland, Millbrae, and in San Francisco. He joined Palm Springs Unified as an English teacher at Desert Hot Springs High School last year. Mr. Omar Tinoco, principal of Desert Hot Springs High School, is supportive of Mr. Stell's pursuit of an administrative position with Palm Springs Unified. He shared that, quote, one of his strengths is his ability to build relationships with students. A former colleague best described Robert by stating, quote, he upholds his core values of education, keeping equity and our students at the center of every decision. We're confident that Mr. Stell will be an outstanding addition to the Sunny Sands Elementary administrative team and team in general. Congratulations, Mr. Stell. Is there anyone you would like to introduce and anything you'd like to share with the board?
I would just like to say thank you to the board. I appreciate your active leadership in the district and throughout the community, and I really appreciate this opportunity. And I just want to say to Executive Cabinet, Dr. Signoret, thank you for your leadership and your support, and I appreciate your commitment to equity and to ensuring that we're meeting the needs of each and every student that we have in our district. I appreciate that. I have to give a shout out to Mr. Tinoco and my colleagues at Desert Hot Springs High School, even though they're not here tonight, students are not here. It's an amazing school, and I've really enjoyed my time there. Great things are happening there. If you haven't visited, I know most of you have, I've seen you, but definitely go visit. But I'm excited for my time at Sunny Sands. Ms. Horton, I can't wait to support you and to support the entire staff and the families and the students. To be back at the elementary level has been something I've been wanting to do for a while. So definitely looking forward to that. So again, everybody up here, I thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate what you do.
So with that, can I get a motion to approve the following employment agreement? Employment agreement with Robert Stell, Assistant Principal of Sunny Sands Elementary School, salary schedule 202, column 2, step 11, effective 11/13/2024.
I move the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Congratulations. Okay. Next we move to 16B, the approval of First Amendment to the employment agreement for superintendent of schools. The board is considering an approval of an amendment to the superintendent's employment agreement. Prior to taking final action, Government Code Section 54953 requires an oral summary of the recommendation for approval on the salary schedules or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits of a local agency executive during open session of a regular meeting, in which the final action is to be taken. So, in summary, the amendment makes no change to the superintendent's current compensation. This amendment simply extends the duration of employment. Okay, yes. And agreement 2 additional years through June 2027. Okay? So, can I get a motion to approve the First Amendment to Superintendent's Employment Agreement for Dr. Tony Signoret?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
abstain.
Keep up the good work. Stay healthy. Yes, and Dr. Signoret has a few words.
Speech.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first, I do appreciate giving me a brief moment to express my gratitude. I'm deeply honored and grateful to the Board of Education, specifically Mr. Espericueta, Mr. Irvin, Mr. Girardi, Board Clerk Cornett, and Board President Jarrell for extending this opportunity for me. I want to express my heartfelt appreciation for your support, but mostly for your leadership as you continuously strive to improve our district. This extension is not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of the board's outstanding leadership, as well as our collective work and shared commitment to the future of our students and our community. I also want to acknowledge the unwavering support of my family, whose encouragement, patience, and understanding allow me to dedicate myself fully to this very important role. So to my wife, Sylvia, who's sitting right there, been sitting there patiently, thank you so much. And all our amazing children, starting with Michelle, Josh, Renee, Juliet, Jonathan, Solange, Daniela, Natasha, Jordan, who's also sitting there very, very patiently, and our ever rambunctious Sebastian. So I'm glad you kept Sebastian at home. He would have been climbing all over the place here. And also to my parents watching via YouTube from Mexico, I love you all. To my executive cabinet and full cabinet team, thank you for your relentless dedication, collaboration, and devotion to the success of our district. I am incredibly fortunate to work with such a talented and committed team. To our superintendent's office, starting with Erica, Monica, Joan, and Marion, I'm very blessed and fortunate to work with all of you as I recognize your amazing patience in putting up with me and some of my crazy ideas that I always come up with. But please know it's a tremendous joy to work with all of you, and I'm thrilled to continue on. And last but not least, I am deeply grateful to every single member of our district staff, all of you at every single level. Your hard work, passion, and care for our students make all the difference. And you've all heard me say this before, and I'm going to repeat it again. Palm Springs Unified is more than a school district. We are a family. And as a family, we stick together. So although there is plenty of work ahead of us and so much more we need to do to meet our own expectations, together as a family, I'm confident that we will continue to turn the dial towards success and create an even brighter future for every student we serve. Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have any additional comments before we move to approve this? Okay, with that, can I get a motion to approve the First Amendment to Superintendent's Employment Agreement for Dr. Tony Signoret? I did that? Oh, we voted already? Okay, let's do it again. It sounds like I feel like I want to repeat history. All right, we voted, so thank you. Check this off. Next, approval of final teacher induction program and peer assistance review. PAR, a report that will be introduced by Mr. Clayton Hill.
Okay, good evening again. It's my honor and pleasure to introduce Executive Director of Human Resources, Mr. Brad Sauer, who's going to provide us an overview of the PAR and new teacher induction program.
Good evening, Board of Education. My name is Brad Sauer, Executive Director of Human Resources. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you tonight our new teacher induction program and the peer assistance review process, or PAR process. To start with, I wanted to talk briefly about our reflective coaches. We have 5 reflective coaches, which we'll point out in the next slide or two here. But we have a selection process for our reflective coaches that consists of interview panel, and we actually go out and visit them teaching in the classroom so that we can see them in action. Our reflective coaches must have a minimum of 3 years of recent teaching experience and have demonstrated exemplary teaching ability. This year, the reflective coaches have begun using the reflective coach standards, and so during their during their PLC time with their candidates, they actually will be working through all 6 of the reflective coach standards, such as listening, questioning, feedback, data analysis, technology infusion, and building relationships. Our reflective coach team consists of 5 incredibly talented ladies. We have Maribel Castro, Norma Flores, Erin Graham, Martha Manalise, and Holly Reed. All of them were not able to be here tonight, but I believe they are watching from the YouTube. So hello to all of them. They also assisted in putting together the presentation for this evening, so we appreciate their work on that. The reflective coaches are full-time release individuals, and their job is to support new teachers, intern teachers, emergency credential teachers, and any permanent staff that are on PAR or the STEP program. They must meet weekly with their teachers, and they serve for a 3-year term. If at the end of that 3-year term they desire a 4th year, that is an option with the PAR Council approving that extension of 1 year. Otherwise, when they are finished with their term, they do return back to their school sites. The Teacher Induction Program is a program that we work through the County Office of Education, and the goal of this program is to help our brand new teachers, what we call, clear their credential. So it's generally a 2-year program, and the reflective coaches work directly with our brand new teachers. These are teachers fresh out of college or fresh from another state out of college that have to clear their credential with the state of California. The goal of that program is to build the quality of those teachers. And to do that, they have to do 4 inquiry cycles, which is 3 observations and 1 digital reflection, each of their 2 years to clear induction. And again, those coaches must meet a minimum of 1 hour per week with each of those individuals. Some of the support and guidance that our reflective coaches can and do provide to our beginning teachers are around the areas of formal evaluations, lesson plannings, all of the items listed there in front of you, along with others that I'm sure they're just being modest and did not put onto this slide, because I do not see crisis counseling up there also. Anyone that knows and is a brand new teacher knows that there's constantly something that you as a brand new teacher, whether it's I forgot this part of the lesson plan, or I forgot to bring the materials I needed for that particular lesson, would consider that a crisis as a brand new teacher. So our induction coaches are there to assist our teachers in working through all of those, what we believe now are minor, but to a brand new teacher seem like major obstacles in the moment. Last school year, the 23-24 school year, we had 157 individuals receiving support by our reflective coaches. Out of those 157, you can see the breakdown. We had 50 that were in the year 1 program, 55 that were finishing up their 2nd year of induction. We had 31 individuals with an intern credential, 5 emergency, 15 in the STEP program, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, and 1 in the PAR program, which we'll also talk about in a moment. The 157 reflects the end of last school year. So far, at the start of this school year, we have 142 individuals, broken down with 62 in year 1, 42 in year 2, 22 interns, 5 emergencies, 9 in the STEP program, and 2 in PAR. In the teacher induction program specifically, we have 105 for last school year, which had 50 of those in their first year, which the majority of those have rolled over to year 2, and 55 last year that were finishing up their program. Those broke down into 45 in single subject, 39 multiple subject, and 21 in special education. In addition to all of those new teachers that our reflective coaches support, they also support interns, STEP applicants, emergency credential teachers, and teachers in PAR. For intern teachers, we have 21 right now, with 9 of those in general education and 12 in special education. In the STEP applicants, we have 9 and 2 emergency credential teachers. The STEP program that I keep referring to specifically refers to the supporting teachers to enhance practice. This is a voluntary program for our veteran teachers that would like a one-on-one coach, if you will, to work with them. So our reflective coaches take on our permanent teachers that may feel they need additional support in certain areas or want to refine their practice. Oftentimes they're not scoring with a fully meets on their evaluation process. They'll score partially meet, and they self-select to become part of this program. This program is confidential. The application goes directly to Karen Johnson, the president of PSTA, who approves the applicant, and then it's worked through the Human Resources Department to assign a reflective coach. We also have the Peer Assistance and Review, our PAR Council. The PAR program is specifically for experienced teachers that have not met or does not meet standards during their evaluation cycle. These individuals are placed into the PAR program to work to improve their performance, and they're put there with the work of the site administrators by doing formal and informal observations throughout the course of their evaluation year. This aligns with the Education Code and the Collective Bargaining Agreement, and the goal of PAR is to support those veteran teachers in building subject matter knowledge and enhancing their teaching strategies, or both, and the goal is to exit them from that program within 2 school years. The PAR Council is made up of 7 members. 3 of those are members of Palm Springs Unified Management, and 4 of those are members of Palm Springs Teachers Association. And for last school year, the members were Mr. Hendra, myself, and Mr. Lyles. And for PSTA were Karen Johnson, Ms. Keene, Ms. Pack, and Ms. Aguilar. For the 24-25 school year, we have 2 certificated staff that are participating in PAR in year 1. Last school year, we had 1 certificated staff that finished up in year 2. And in 22-23, we had 2 participating staff in year 1. At the conclusion of every school year, our candidates, or those 150 teachers that are participating in the induction program, take a survey administered by Riverside County Office of Ed regarding their CTI program. The goal of this survey is to determine whether or not we, as Palm Springs Unified, and our CTI coaches are being effective. So the next several slides I'm going to share with you are results of that survey and the responses that our site level beginning teachers felt, and how we did with our reflective coaches and CTI program. The first data point you see here is the time they spent with their coach adequate? And you can see that we, Palm Springs Unified, said 81% of our respondents said it was adequate or more than they needed. And the Riverside County average was 69%. The next slide talks about the overall impact that the CTI induction program has had on the classroom practice for our participating teachers. There are approximately 11 areas that they had to score themselves, or our process in, if you will. And our goal is to be scoring at least a 3, which means moderate, or a 4. So between a 3 and 4 would be the ideal score. We also would like to compare ourselves with the entire CTI program that is administered by Riverside County Office of Ed countywide. And we'd like to be right around their score or better than. From the table you see here, the overall impact of the CTI program has had a moderate to mid-moderate impact on our teachers that participated. It's evident that this table from this table that the teachers feel that their induction program has significantly and positively impacted their classroom practices. The next slide is, what extent do the inquiry cycles expand on our district or school design professional development expectations? We have 3 areas there, with our candidates scoring our district as a 3.46 in comparison to the county of a 3.4. The next set of questions, or the question that was asked, is in regards to our candidate and coach relationships. So how well matched are our candidates and our coaches? As you can see from the score here, we scored a 3.81, which is approaching that 4.0 mark, and in comparison to the county of a 3.84. So we are well matched. Some of the comments that came in on the survey, and I'm not going to read them to you word for word, but there's a couple I'd like to point out, and we've tried to highlight or bold those for you. But as you'll see, it says, I needed her intense level of support and understanding as a new teacher navigating new experiences. Patient, kind, she's a listener. I trusted her. She has a wealth of knowledge. Even though her caseload was heavy, she always found time to support me. She was always willing to listen, and when needed, she provides solutions and support. The candidates also had to rank their CTI coach, the site level administrator, and their colleagues on how valuable their interactions with each of those were in the approximately 12 areas there. And you'll see that they find the CTI coach to be very valuable, and the interactions they had with them at a 3.67. The county was at a 3.45. For their site level administrator, we had a score of a 3.02, and for their colleagues, a 3.22. More comments from some candidates. She truly empathized with me and understood all of my struggles. She uplifted me when I needed, she believed in me, and she reminded me of my strengths as an educator. My coach was a good match because she's an educator that has been at the school district for many years and was able to answer any questions I had about the district's protocols and policies and more. Candidate and coach relationships. So on these roughly 12 items, the candidate had to indicate how true each of the following statements were about their relationship with their reflective coach. Again, our goal was to be equal to or better than the county average, or between a 3 and 4. Overall, we scored a 3.79. And as stated here by a candidate, the importance of having someone that is not at my school site as a new teacher. Admitting mistakes to others at my site can be difficult at times. Having someone that reminds you of the accountability, builds you up to establish and maintain class management, healthy life-work balance, and reassurance to try new things that will benefit student learning. Our reflective coaches serve a little over 28 to 1 right now. And when you think they have to spend at least an hour with each of those candidates per week, minimum. On top of that, there's the travel time between school sites and the helping prepare for lessons and the pooling of resources. They really do a tremendous job. So to all 5 of those individuals, we do thank you for that. That actually concludes the presentation for this evening. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have about the induction program or PAR process.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Sauer? I do. One of the options was an early completion option with a star on it. What is that, real quick?
Yep. So it depends on what they're coming out of their college program with. They can sometimes do a early completion of their clear credential. It does not happen often. This time, I think, if I remember correctly, we had about 10 individuals that were able to work on completion in a 1-year program for induction. That may be because they started it elsewhere. There's also a possibility. They started in another district and then came to us on year 2. Is also a possibility.
Is the 28 to 1 common? That just seems so high.
It is high. Riverside County would like to see it about 24 to 1. So we are in the process of bringing on board a 6th coach because as you saw, the numbers right now are 20 to 8 to 1, but as we go throughout the school year, we still have additional vacancies that will be filled. So those numbers may go up based upon the experiences of those new teachers that are coming on board. So we do have a 6th employee that we're looking at bringing on board. We just finished site visits and observations, Ms. Johnson and I, last Thursday, actually, for 3 candidates that we're looking to find one of those to bring on board.
Quick one. I'm just curious, Brad, how are site administrators a part of this program so that teachers, whether they're new teachers or on the STEP or PAR program, are getting the same information from everybody? It's the same expectations on everybody's behalf.
Great question. So actually both the CTI program and the PAR program, there are, I'm going to call them, I'm sure I have this terminology wrong, so those of them watching on Facebook or YouTube, ladies, don't get mad at me tomorrow. They're triad meetings, I think they're called, where they meet with the, I got a thumbs up from someone over here, so I think I got it right. Thank you, Dr. Signoret. So they meet with the principal, the teacher, and the support provider to develop common goals, and so that they know what the site level expectations are as well. There is coordination amongst them. Mm-hmm.
Thank you again.
Thank
you
you
for your hard work and all of our coaches' work. Applause. Very good. Appreciation to you all. So we ask for a motion to approve the final teacher induction program and peer assistance review report, OE 4.4. Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you. We'll look at 16D, the adoption of Resolution 2024-2025-15. Board members' absence from board meetings due to illness. Can I get a motion to approve item 16D?
I move the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passed. We then ask Ms. Micah Henry to help us in the approval of a proclamation of School Psychology Week, November 11th through 15th, 2024. Micah?
Whereas children have a natural propensity to learn and have the right to learn, and whereas it is imperative that society emphasize the needs of children and youth and invest in education as a top priority, and whereas to enhance the total environment in which children live and grow, schools must apply sound psychological principles to instruction and learning, cultivate children's intellectual, social, and emotional development, meet the educational needs of our culturally diverse student population, and promote early intervention to ensure students' scholastic success. And whereas school psychologists help parents and educators foster healthy child development and are the school-based experts in children's learning and psychological development, and whereas school psychologists are on the front lines in the drive for violence prevention, intervention, and response in our schools, and whereas school psychologists are leaders in delivering mental health services to students, and whereas it is appropriate to take the time to recognize the important and vital role that school psychologists play in the personal and academic development of our children. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on November 12, 2024, the governing board of the Palm Springs Unified School District proclaims November 15, 2024 as National School Psychology Week and encourages its staff and students to celebrate the important contributions of this vital profession.
Thank you. So we will, where are we again?
16E.
Oh, 16E, I turned the page. Thank you, Board Member Micah. Next, can I get a motion to approve 16E?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. 16F, the approval of certificated and classified employee transactions, OE 4.4. Can I get a motion to approve item 16F?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Okay, thank you. Next, we look at adoption of Resolution 2024-2025-14 authorizing the continued funding application, the CFA, with the California Department of Education for participation in the California State Preschool Program, OE 10.8. Can I get a motion to approve item 16G?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 16H, the approval of monitoring report governing policy R-2, academic achievement in core academic disciplines. And Dr. Kovacs will read a brief summary.
Yes, thank you, Board President Jarrell. On October 22nd, the results report, which is academic achievement, was presented to the Board of Education. I want to begin by stating that the hard work and dedication of the staff and students is applauded as we continue to focus our efforts on student learning and achievement. The results report indicates that Palm Springs Unified School District made progress in 3 of the 7 areas reported for academic achievement. Those areas are social science, use of technology, and engagement in the arts. However, Palm Springs Unified School District did not see desirable growth on our preliminary state test results for ELA, ELD, math, and science. There was incremental growth, and when factoring in local results and the refinement of system structures and programs, PSUSD is maintaining in these 4 areas. So due to these results in ELA, math, ELD, and science, the recommendation for the overall status of the district is that we are failing to make reasonable progress at this time. However, PSUSD will continue to refine our systems and maintain our focus on increasing student achievement.
And that was in the Friday report. Okay, thank you. So, can I get a motion to approve the monitoring report R2, academic achievement in core academic disciplines?
I move the motion.
Second.
Did you have something, Board Member Urban? Okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Dr. Kovacs and team. Approval of 2024-2025 school plan, student achievement, the SIPSA, OE 10.5 and 10.7. Can I get a motion to approve 16I?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passed. 16J is the approval of Board Policy 4154, Health and Welfare Benefits, OE-4. Can I get a motion to approve 16J?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We'll move on to 16K, the approval of Board Policy 4254, Health and Welfare Benefits, OE-4. Can I get a motion to approve 16K?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Then again, 16JKL, Board Policy 4354, Health and Welfare Benefits, OE-4. Can I get a motion to approve item 16L?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. On 16M, this is an approval of a rejection of claim 2024-2025-04 John Doe A period L period versus PSUSD 638667 OE7. Can I get a motion to approve item 16M?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I
Thank you.
abstain.
Oh, you abstain. Thank you. Okay. With one vote, we'll look to approve 16N and 16O. The approval of expulsion cases 2024-2025-005 and 2024-2025-006. The recommendation and findings of fact and conclusion of law, OE11. Can I get a motion to approve items 16N and 16O?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Well, thank you so much. We'll look at 17 and we'll move 17A through 17H into one vote. So that would be 17. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, the superintendent's consent.
That's just 17, this first part. Okay. Good. Oh, good. Approval of acceptance of gifts, 17A. B is the approval of purchase order report. C is the approval of agreements $10,000 or more. D, approval of other contracts and MOUs. E, the approval of recognition of qualified school-connected organizations within the PSUSD district. Approval of new job description, security administrative assistant bilingual. G, the approval of revised job description, prevention specialist. And H, the approval of new job description, CTE, hospitality, tourism, and recreation teacher. Would you like to pull an item for discussion or review or questions?
I just have a quick question
Sure,
on,
sure.
on H. I don't know if, do we have to pull it up? I mean, it's a fairly question. I just wanted to know. Do we have to pull it up?
No, go ahead. And I think this would be for Mr. Simmons or Mr.
What's your question on which one?
Do we need to pull out item H if he wants to
just
ask
a-
the question? I would just pull it.
I would just ask the question. Just ask question.
All right, so I just had a question. I just want to know what school it was that this CTE program is going to be at.
MSJ.
Okay.
For their equity multiplier funds.
That's all.
I mean, that's a great opportunity. I think that's a great addition to our CTE programs.
Yeah. And I'll piggyback off of that. I just wanted to say it's the hospitality industry is really huge in our area. So this is a great opportunity for us to be able to add. I just hope that we're able to capture some of those students, and that's a great program.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve superintendent consent items 17A through 17H?
I move the motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Board consent item 18, the approval of meeting minutes for October 22nd, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
Move for approval?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
I abstain.
Okay, and Kimberly abstains. Thank you. Our 19 is item information, items 19A through C. The board has received and reviewed this information. And then item 20, do we have any suggestions for future agendas at this time?
Just a quick statement. I know that the board member, John Girardi, has mentioned, I think it's financial literacy. And I was just curious to know, do we have a follow-up on that? I know it's been like about a couple of years that you asked. And I don't know, did you receive a follow-up or?
I think that, hasn't the state come down with a mandate that we offer a financial literacy instruction before they graduate? Isn't that coming in pretty soon?
Yes, it is. And we'll add more information. The Friday we did provide information for you, so we'll add that again and give more information about our plans. You're welcome.
Any other questions or ideas for future agenda items? They'll come up. All right. So with that, we're going to set the next board meeting. It's a special board meeting on December 10th, 2024 at 4 o'clock p.m. And then the following week, December 17th, will be our regular meeting at 6 p.m. Do we have a debrief? Any ideas? Final thoughts? All right. So can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, student board members.
Good job.
Oh.
You can ask me who's on first. I have no idea.